In this lesson, we're going to create an 11 by 17 document. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to be creating a new document, and then from here you're going to change this. So it's going to be 17 width by 11 high, 300 ppi resolution. Background contents we want to be transparent, and then we're going to hit create. So now that we have this 11 by 17 document, you'll notice that my unit of measurement for my rulers is in pixels. I'm going to want to change that. So you're actually going to go to the Photoshop menu on a Mac, but I'm going to go here. I'm in Windows. I'm going to go to Preferences, and I'm going to go to Units and Rulers. And then in here, I'm going to change this to inches. And now, what I'm going to do is, from these rulers, and we can't see this ruler here, I'm going to move all this kind of stuff away. I'll put this right here. We're going to go on the ruler. I'm going to hold down, and we're going to be able to drag over a guide, and we're going to put that guide at 8.5. And what that's going to do now is it's going to give us our midpoint for our ad. So when we look, this is the middle of the page, and then we can go out and we can just go in 2 lines one way and then 2 lines the other way. And what this will do is this will give us a little bit of a gutter in the middle here, because this is where the page is going to fold over in the magazine. So we don't want to put anything that critical there. We can have an image go over a type, but we want to make sure that whatever it is, it's big and bold and it doesn't get lost in this kind of gutter. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in an image, and we're going to desaturate it to make it black and white and color. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go File, Place. And I'm going to do Place Embedded. And now if I go out to the desktop, I've got this image of a person with a handbag. And I'm going to place that in. And you can see it's a high resolution image because it's very large. It fits in here. This is good. If it came in small as a postage stamp, we wouldn't want that. So what I'm going to do in my design is I'm just going to put her over here, and you'll notice how I butt this up against here. I mean, there's different ways to design this. Could we design this way with her in the inset? Could we, we want to show the handbag, so could we crop this way and then put other stuff there? Sure. So we're just going to kind of set this up this way. So once this is placed, I hit return. And you can see we've got a nice clean photograph. We've got our 3x3 grid, which seems to be working, on my machine at least. And now we're going to decide how we're going to do this. So first thing that we might want to do here is we might want to get rid of this gray background, because our goal is to keep the handbag in color and to make her black and white. And we can make any part of her black and white. So there's a few ways to do that, and we're going to show you that now. If you wanted to just make something black and white just by going over it, what you can do is you can go in and you can use the desaturate tool. And the desaturate tool is with the dodge, burn, here it is, and sponge tool. It's actually called the sponge tool. It's not called the saturation tool. And when we click on that tool, we're going to get desaturate up here with a flow. The higher the flow, the more it's going to, the larger the rate of the saturation change. So, for example, if I wanted to desaturate, say, the bag, if I set this all the way up to 100, and I take a decent sized brush right here, you'll notice I go over and I get the no symbol. The reason that is because this is a smart object, and we want to right click and we want to rasterize this layer. Once I do that, now this is available. And I'll just zoom in just to show you how this would work. But say I wanted to desaturate this. Notice how what's happening here, how it's now going to grayscale. We're taking all the color out. Same thing would work if I say I wanted to desaturate the lips. See how the color is coming out there? Oh. So now that we have this image in, and we've shown you one way to desaturate, there's another way by selecting and then desaturating. So that's the technique I'm going to use now. So I'm going to take the magic wand and I'm going to select this gray area. Now you notice I didn't get a lot. I'm going to go up to my tolerance. I'm going to change this to 25 because I don't want to grab anything in her. So you notice that looks like it's pretty clean. Looks like it's grabbed it all around. Now we've got a couple of spots that we missed. So I'm just going to hold the shift key. You see the little plus. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab right in here. Oh, I got a little bit of the dress, so I'm going to have to lower down the tolerance. Let's see what happens when I go in here. Looks like I got a little bit of the dress as well. So I'm going to have to go into quick mask mode quickly, and I'm going to zoom in on this. And where I miss this, I'm going to just wipe this out. I'm just going to take the brush. And we know that white erases and black adds. So I'm just going to erase this here to clean this up. And all I'm doing is just getting rid of selection here. That's it. And then a spot on the belt that it looks like wasn't clean enough. I'm going to clean that. Looks like it got a little too much. Zoom out. That looks okay. And it looks like we just missed a little bit right here. So we'll change this over to black. We'll lower the size of the brush. And we'll get in here. And we'll just paint that in nicely. Now it looks like we've got a good selection, just a little cleanup over here. And we can just switch this around and now just make sure that we've got all of this. This might be easier to just make a selection. So I'm going to take this lasso tool and I will go here, start to drag, Alt key 1, and then just kind of work my way down here. And then I can simply just take the brush and just fill this in nicely without affecting the bag. Looks good. Command D to deselect. Jump out of quick mask mode. And now I'm ready to hit the delete key. And it said, we can't do that because it's not directly. We got to rasterize this layer. And now we hit delete. It's gone. And I've got this great selection, but I don't have to worry about selecting it anymore because everything else is transparent. So I'm going to hit Command D. And now I'm going to think about what I want to add in here or make black and white. So if I wanted the model to be black and white, so now we're going to paint out the bag so that we can make everything else grayscale. So the first thing that we can do is we can grab everything but the bag, and now you see the selection here. We're going to be able to do select inverse, and now when we go over to quick mask mode, you'll notice that we've got the person and the bag. What we're going to need to do is cut this out so that the bag is deselected. So the way that we can do that is we can use the lasso tool. We can kind of zoom in here, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clicking once, and we'll do this in quick mask mode. I missed that. So we're going to go here, one, and then as I start to drag, I'm going to hold the Option key. And again, you might be able to use the auto tools here. It's possible to select the bag, but this is another way to do it, where you can work in here and make sure it's all clean. And now I'm just going to go here, and then I work my way over. Okay. Now, what I have to remember is that I've got to go around this whole contour. So the handle is obviously an issue. So we have to go around this way and come up. And now I'm going to go across. And I'm just working my way around the contour of the object that I want to deselect. And I'm doing it in quick mask mode just because it's just a little easier for me to see. And once I do this and I bring this down, it'll kind of work with me. I can just kind of hold this here, get to the bottom of the bag, work my way down. Come up. So depending on the object and what you're kind of doing, it could take a little longer or shorter. You might have something easy that that's already separated, that you don't have to kind of do this kind of work here. But I'm just showing you the kind of work that you might have to do if you have something that's an object that's kind of connected. So I'm going to work all the way up here, and the key is to keeping your finger on the Option key. And now I can simply take the paintbrush, make it real large, and then just erase this all away. Or I can go to Edit and Fill, and I want to fill with white. It's actually not going to put white in there, it's going to put nothing. So as I zoom out, now you can see we've got the handbag separated, and what I can do is I can go in, if I want to just have this, I can just go to Select, and I can save the selection, and I can just call it bag, just so that I have it. And now when I get out of quick mask mode, we've got the person, and what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Image, Adjustment, Desaturate. And when we do desaturate, what it's going to do is it's going to desaturate the image. So before I do that, I might want to take my layer, just so that I've got a copy of it. I might want to just take my layer and just make a duplicate of it right here. I'll shut it off, but it'll be there in case I mess up and I don't like what I see. So again, to do it, I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustment, Desaturate. But I'm going to make sure that whatever I want to desaturate is selected. So you notice that I went into Quick Mask mode and I deselected the bag. It just made it easier. And now when I do this, we've got a saturated and a desaturated piece to the image. And now I can start to lay the other elements of my ad. If I wanted to put a background, if I wanted to put something else here, I could do that. So just to add a background quickly, I'll make a new layer, I'll pull it down, edit, fill, and now I can fill with whatever I want. Maybe I decide I want to fill with you know, a different color. I'll go in and I can even pull this color if I want. I can pull this kind of brownish. Let's just go with the grayish black. Oh. And the reason that filled is because I have a selection. So I can go in and I can just save this selection as well as the person. And now I can deselect, and I don't worry if I need to go back and load that. I can just go to Select, Load Selection, and both of those would be there. So let me go back to Edit Fill, and I'm going to fill with a color, and there's the black. And when we zoom out, now we can add our typography. And go from there. I don't know, pick something kind of fashionable, maybe. And we make it larger. Okay, so this concludes the lesson. We show you how we've got this black and white and color, and you want to accentuate, you know, the product in some way, you know, in some way that makes you, you know, so style that you define. And now I'll take this, I'll pull it down. And then I'll take this and I'll highlight only the word you. I'll go here, and now I'll pull this color, kind of this brownish, from the bag. There we go. Burnt sienna kind of looks like. So something like this. And then when we look at the ad from this point of view, we do a preview. And here's what we have. So this is what you're going to be doing. And that concludes the lesson.